Alright, let's start today's video. Okay, let's see what we gotta work with. Close that up. Okay, it's an easy one today. Well, easy as is mentioned, but let's see if we can optimize it. Given two strings, s and goal, return true if and only if s can become goal after some number of shifts on s. So shift when the leftmost character, shift on s consists of moving the leftmost character of s to the rightmost position, so like anti-clockwise. So a goes to back, right? Okay, let's think about it. So for example, we given a, b, c, d, and e, right? We want it, well, anti-clockwise, meaning possible strings could be b, c, d, e, a, and further on like another shift c, d, e, a, b. Let me take a smaller, let's think if I have a, b, c. We're going anti-clockwise, so we have b, c, a or c, a, b, right? These two possibilities. So moving to the left. The length is small, right? Okay, so how number of shifts? Shift on s could be. So one thing we could, well, 1 second. First thing I could do is I could loop through this, and then at each loop I will change the positions. Like for example, I can create a new string, right? And then create a new string with new positions, so BCA or something like that, right? And then compare it with our goal. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. But that would be O of what? N operations, because we're looping n times and comparing, right? And another thing is, we could, if A, B, C, and D is given, if the order breaks, it will always be false, right? So is there a way we could check the order is consistent? Is there a mathematical way to solve this? Or so if I have the positions, so A is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So the relative positions should always be a difference of 1 to each other, right? But except for the last element. What if I pair A, B, pair these elements and have a difference, somehow have a difference between A and B. If I have the integer value would be 1, right? B and C should be 1, and whatever difference between stay away. Let's see if someone has. What other way can we think? Our goal is given, right? Two strings are given, S and goal. to return true if s can become goal. So the brute force is looping to check all combination possible and comparing with of and time, right? What if I break the string in array? What if I compare the position? Let's say if I have the first character is C, right? And then I get the first character of C, I get the position of first character here. Let's say if I get position 2, and there has to be a way. Let's see. String can contain true strings. Can be different lengths. S dot length. If the length is different, then they cannot be equal, right? Okay, let's try the brute force for now and see if that works. So first condition is if s dot length is not equal to goal dot length, we return false. Teacher n equals to s. Let me just do, I don't want to do it twice, so we get the length here, right? And then if n is not equal to goal dot length, we return false. Then so if I have a string, then I will create a new string every time I equals to 0, or let me just for character C in s dot to char. No, if I create, I need to loop through how many times? N times to get all combinations. And then let's loop through n times first for integer. Let's do 0, I must be less than n, and I plus plus. What do we have to do? We create a new rotated string. For the first case, how will we create? Since I'm creating a string, I can't override, right? String is an object. What if I create why is this shouldn't be this hard to figure out. Given two strings, if and s can only become goal after some number of shift operations. Or what if I have 2 pointers? Yeah, let's have 2 pointers, no? Okay. For equals to 0, I must be less than string, I must be less than n, and plus. So we move both pointers until, and then for integer j equals. So what I'm thinking is, this is what I'm thinking. Scully draw. Oh, 1 second. So I'm given a, b, c, d, right? And then I have a string called c, d, b, a. I take one pointer here, other pointer here. So I compare c to this pointer. So I move my pointer to this position where we have c. We move it here. And for the next one, I check if the value of next one is equal to this, the value of next I, that is true. And then for the next one, but if I reach, so here I will reach end of array, end of string dot length. Then I want to go to, then I equals to 0. Another concept. I take two pointers, one for each string, and move them together. If not, if there's if jar is not equal, we return false. But what happens if the s reaches end of array? How do move it to 0 index? Okay, so let's think again. So we have a, b, c, and d. And let me start with d, a, and b, and that's the correct thing. So I start for j equals to d. I look for, so I traverse the string, right, and I look where I is equal to d. So that would be my starting point, where I equals to d, right? That's my starting point. And then I move j of next, j of 1 equals to a. So if I find the first starting point, let's say d was 0 and the starting point here is 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3. That means that many rotations. But what if there were two d's? Then right, what if it was like dd, and then I still need to check. There is, what if there's duplicates, right? So what if I check? Okay, so let's say I start with j equals to d, and then I check if the next element is same. Then I check the first occurrence. Browser code or storage. Okay, I don't want to save changes anyway, it's fine. Okay, now pointer thing is not the correct, because the only thing that's keeping me is what if there's two of the same alphabets, characters, then I don't know the starting difference, right? How can we try to, let me take a smaller example. If I have A, D, then what if I do A, D, and A, right? So let me have three A's and D. I move it all to the left, so I have A, D, A, A. Or it could be like, you could have something like A, D, A, right? So this is the comparison, the string we have to compare. We have to find this substring of this. Why does this sound familiar? Finding a substring of a string. Does something has a substring method? Approach 3. Maybe a substring method exists for connection. Okay, let's try to at least try to get the brute force working. So what do we have? Oh, one second, I have X, 3. Okay, teacher n equals to, we just delete this. So let me have teacher n equals to s dot length, right? And then we check first comparison if the lengths are different, if n is not equal to goal dot length, we return false. Then what do we want to do for, so we loop backwards, right? I want to loop, so for integer n I equals to -1, I must be greater than 0, and I plus plus, right? So what we will do for brute force is if I have A, B, and C, I will keep C separate. I think this is something we learned yesterday. I have value C, and then I will move B to A, right? Sorry, I have kept C separate. Then I will move A to C. Then I have A, B, A, and then I have, will move B here. No, yeah, I have B, A. I'm moving anti-clockwise, not clockwise. So for anti-clockwise, if I keep A, B, and C, the next thing, if I move A here, A, and C, so I lose B, right? I don't want to lose this value, so so A, B, C, D becomes B, C, D. A, B, C becomes, so A, B, and C becomes B, C, and A, right? That's one rotation. So how will I rotate A, B, C to C? So if I keep C in a separate variable, I store the value of C somewhere, and then I convert B to C, but I also want to keep B, or I convert A goes, okay, I keep this value separate, the first value separate, right? Then I convert A to, it becomes B, B, and C, right? Then convert B to C, so it becomes B, C, and C, and then this value goes here, B, C, and A. This will be our first loop, and then we compare this is equal to this. Let's say this was, instead of B, C, it was C, A, and B. That's, if it's not equal, again we keep B separate, and then same thing, we do B is separate, we do get B gets the value of C, so becomes C A. C gets the value of A, so C A and C A B. Okay, that is the correct rotation path, right? So what? How do we? Okay, so let me have. How do we build a string? So let me start with int I equals to 1 and I must be. What if there's only one character? We'll check that later. If I equals to 1 and I must be less than n and I plus plus. So let me have okay, I don't know why am I getting confused with this. Okay, I must be less than n I plus plus. We keep the value of the first index separate. So let me just I equals to 0, I must be less than n. Do I create an empty string? Will have to initialize, or should I have a string dot? That's a method to convert. Okay, this is annoying. Let's see what am I doing wrong. I don't know. Let's see, ChatGPT can help me here. If the goal is a rotation of S, then it must appear inside S plus, for example, A, B, C, D. All rotation must appear as substrings. Okay, how role contains method process. Okay. Okay, could have it done this way. But our brute force method was if we shift, and then for each shift we check if I plus shift. Learn something. So reset it, and then let's try. So first step was we check integer n equals to n star length, right? If n is not equal to goal dot length, we return false. Right? Then we check. We return check if s plus s return something this. Oh. This was if. Let's start an exam goal. Okay. Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.